Hey guys, VaulSC here, hope that you are doing well. It's time to move on to round 4 of the Infinity Tabletop Simulator League. Really excited for round 4 because it's Finish Line, one of my preferred missions, and a really exciting map for that one as well. As always, people have been doing well completing their games. I'd say over 95% of the league is basically continuing to go through every round. We do have a significant list of dropouts, but it's still pretty manageable, and there are still over, around about 130 people in the tournament. And there's also pretty much everybody in the casual league minus a few dropouts, and just about everybody who started in Code 1 is still in Code 1 as well. So head on over to the spreadsheet where you can see everybody's matchups listed here. It's got to the point where I have to do a bit of checking to make sure that you haven't been matched up against somebody you've already played. If I've accidentally done that, please let me know. There's also a bit of reshuffling due to some people needing a slightly better time zone, and also some people finishing their games late. If I go to the tournament tab down here, there's a group of people from the bottom of the tournament tables who haven't completed their games. I did talk to Zap and Croft. Now they are finishing theirs late. I'm just going to give them, for the purposes of matchmaking, 1 tournament point. Therefore, they'll be playing people somewhere around the midfield. But everybody in the top half of the rankings hasn't really been affected, so I've generally been able to give you an opponent by the numbers, so that's looking really, really good. We've got some exciting games coming up. I'd like to be able to stream some if possible, but that depends on you and your availability and your willingness to let me come in. Haven't talked to Fatherbox and Cobra Prime yet, but I'd like to. I did speak to Perzan. He's playing against King in Yellow, so hopefully streaming that game, although that'll mean me getting up pretty early on a Monday morning. So I think if you work out New Zealand's time, Auckland, New Zealand, game starting around about 8 a.m. On a Saturday. Let me just quickly double check that on Discord to make sure I got that time right. Yeah, so around about 8 a.m. on the Monday. That's effectively the 15th of June for me. So if you want to come and watch that, one's going to be exciting. King in Yellow and Perzan, both pretty big tournament players. Both of them, a little bit further down the rankings in this particular tournament, but it'll be an exciting game. Aleph versus Hakslam on that very interesting map. But look, if you are in the tournament league and you've been and you're well into the round so far, and you've played all your games and you're up for round 4, and you want me to stream your game, maybe let me know when the timing's going to be, or just hit me up if you see me in chat. Casual league still looking good. We managed to iron out our kinks with late played games. Bobman and Bishop came in pretty late, but given that one has concluded, I've now given them some reasonable opponents. I will be playing against Assault Unicorn from Russia, St. Petersburg. Our game's going to be at a pretty convenient time for me, actually. I think that's 6 to 7 p.m. for me on a Saturday, it says here. So that's actually in about 24 hours time from me posting this video, just a little bit after that. So feel free to come along. I'll be streaming the game and putting it on YouTube as usual. That should be a blast. Combined army against Kapukalki on that new map. And Code 1's still going strong, of course. I've challenged our leader, James, here to a game of Code 1 at some point, so hopefully managing to do that. I've never actually played Code 1, so he can teach me a few things. Great. Let's talk about this new map and this new mission. Obviously, I expected this one to be a bit of a controversial one because of all of the walkways through the middle here. What this means is that if you deploy something on the top level, like, let's grab something like this, like right here, it does basically get to see everything else on the top level that isn't obscured by these little walls. So if you've got a really strong ARO piece there, it's going to prevent a lot of things walking around over the top. And it has actually some pretty good lines of fire down to the bottom, and some angles are quite hard to spot and end up being unexpected. So just play slowly and carefully, as you guys always do. But I think that this map's going to bring in some really interesting challenges, and I think it will reward people who prepare a lot. I certainly love the idea of people thinking up new strategies and using profiles that they might not have considered before, and really taking their time to have a look at the map and think about what they're going to do. As far as the walkways are concerned, really the only way up and down them is the stairs, unless you've got climbing plus or super jump, but that's okay. If you're running a tag, yes, you can put your tag on the walkway. Bear in mind that getting down might be a bit of a problem, and also the walkways themselves are a little bit too narrow for the tag to walk through. Having said that, you spend one skill, one order, and you jump down. The chances of actually taking any damage are extremely low, and then you can keep moving. Or you can just deploy them on ground level. Now, it may look a bit awkward to move the tag underneath these walkways. My top tip on that one is just to get the camera right down to the ground level, and then click on him and move him, and you'll find that he can actually walk under the walkways without too much trouble. So there you go. That's a bit of a tip from me on how to do that. Tag's actually not a bad idea for this mission, because if you do move it over to where the panoply is, you know, tags really love getting stuff from the panoplies. There's all manner of really crazy things you could get, like bonus armor or ODD or something like that, smoke grenades. If your tag's a data tracker and you make it into the enemy deployment zone, obviously you get bonus objective points. I do want to remind everybody who hasn't read the mission carefully, your data tracker must begin the game in your own deployment zone. So if the Morat player over here is the red player and the data tracker is the tag, you'd have to start back here. If you're playing like Shazvasti and you've got an impersonator, yes, it's possible for the impersonator to be the data tracker if it's not in impersonator state. But in this mission, you also have to put it in your deployment zone. So I'm hearing some people sort of talking about having an impersonator starting in the enemy deployment zone and automatically getting the points. Just doesn't work. You can't infiltrate or superior infiltrate or do anything with your data tracker. It must start in your zone for obvious reasons. I don't know if you guys have been watching my bat reps, but a little bit about strategy again is that if you have your data tracker and you get all the way into the enemy territory and you touch the back line, so you get 3 objective points, fantastic. But if you're stranded there and your data tracker dies, you give your opponent a point. And if you end up with fewer army kills at the end of the game, you give your opponent 2 army points. So ask yourself whether it's really worth it to charge through there. I mean, if you're not getting a lot of kills on the way, maybe it's not the best idea, because then your opponent can obviously go after the panoplies in the central purple objective at the end to win. So that's one reason why I like this mission. It's kind of balanced, and you've got to keep a lot of things in mind, and you've got to be flexible. You've got to be willing to change your game plan partway through the game if it looks like different objective points are going to be easier to secure or to stop your opponent from getting. Cool, right, really excited for this one. Our 3D modeling project is going really well, as you guys can see. I've got my Achilles in here. He's looking pretty cool. Guy like Achilles makes a really good data tracker. Again, another strategy you can just play is just having a data tracker that's something fairly squishy and just hide it somewhere and get your points a different way. I think it's perfectly fine to go for a game plan where you take second turn, you stop your opponent from doing very much, and then the end of the game, in your last turn, you move up, you grab the middle objective, you pick off a few things to get more army kills, you make sure you've got more panoplies than the other guy, and you win by playing a relatively passive game. That does work as well. For those of you who are worried about link teams and snipers and stuff, they're going to be a little bit immobile. I've made the map such that if you're putting your link team up on top of something here, there's a lot of junk in the way for them to get line of sight. Smoke grenades, as usual, are going to be very, very good. And if you've got infiltrators with Spitfires and rifles and stuff like that, you should be able to bring them out to the midfield and crawl prone along these walkways to a point where you're inside of the sniper or missile launcher range band. And then you can start popping them with your camo and your surprise attack, unless they're a link team, of course. So there are things that you can do. People have been asking a little bit about this room here, the coveted room. Remember, you may have all sorts of strategies around going first to going second, because you may feel that they are really good for you to win, but the person who takes the table side can take this nice little room here, which makes the lieutenant quite safe. You are allowed to go in the corner like this, just don't clip into any of the walls. So that room is very, very defensible. If you want to just keep your data tracker alive without running out across the battlefield at the end of the game, that might work as well. So yeah, I think it's fine. I haven't actually play tested this map, but I know I'm going to have a good time in it, unless, of course, my dice are terrible, which, you know, they quite often are. I did get asked about larger troop sizes. Looks like it is difficult to walk down the alleyway if you're a motorbike or if you're tag, but a Silhouette 3 I think we can agree that this guy seems to be okay getting through the middle there. So if you want to deploy a guy like this Feuerbach guy, S3, S4, S5, sorry, not S4, S5, S6, that works, and that could be quite a bit of fun. For OSS and Onyx, I've put these little walls up so you can deploy your stuff that can't go prone behind these little obstacles here, and then you can poke out and try and have that attrition battle for the top of the table, the second terrace level, shall we say. Good. Hopefully all that makes sense. Hopefully all of you guys have got an opponent that you haven't played against before. Hopefully you're making a lot of friends and really enjoying this league. I've been putting a lot of thought into what we're going to do after the league, about planning on a bit of a campaign where we'll sort everybody into factions and have a bit of a faction war. I did make a post that future leagues may have a small entry fee as well. So that's still being discussed, but we're still well away from finishing this particular league. There'll be a round 5, and then the top 10 of the tournament league will go into a round 6. But everybody will have access to the round 6 map and can play a free casual game if they want to. So keep following the league, keep following the chats, keep following my YouTube videos, ask questions if you've got them, and hope you guys enjoy your games.